All right, welcome to our Life in Christ Ephesians life group. So glad that you are a part of this journey with us. Week 1, we're talking about finding our identity in the Father. And we talked about why it's so important to spend time with the Lord, because we have so many other people's opinions and people that want to classify us. And we also talk about how it's difficult to live for God because of that fact. And so we need to stay focused on what God is saying about us and who He created us to be and what He called us to do. This Sunday we also talked about 3 different identities that we need to take off. We talked about not letting the opinions of others identify us, or our circumstances, or even taking off that sinful nature and identifying with a new creature or with our life in Christ. And one of the things that I really enjoyed talking about is Ephesians chapter 1 and verse 11, specifically in the Message translation, where it says, it's in Christ that we find out who we are. That's specifically talking about our identity in the Father. And then it goes on to say what we are living for. In other words, our purpose. And we know that in Jeremiah 29 and verse 11, it says that His thoughts toward us are good and not evil. They're peaceful. And so I really enjoy those things. I love it that God chose us. I think that's the main thing that we want to focus on. We want to unpack in this life group, is just celebrating and just grasping the understanding that even while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us, or God chose us. And we see this over and over in verse, or in chapter 1 of Ephesians, is that God chose us. Today what I want to do is I just want to challenge the groups to just unpack that. Maybe share what that means to you. Maybe share some testimonies about how God chose you, even despite your flaws, your failures, your mistakes, and just begin to share and unpack that with each other. And then at the end, I just want to encourage you to pray for each other, not just today, but just make a commitment to pray for those in your small group throughout the week. Encourage them to be faithful at attending these groups. Be faithful at attending church services through these next 7 weeks. And then also, would you please do me a favor? We are called to be the light on the hill. And so what I want to do is I want to challenge each and every one of you to find somebody this week to bring with you next Sunday. If first week is any indication of what God is going to do through this, we've got some great things to look forward to. We don't want anybody to miss it. And so will you please do everything you can to invite, to bring people to church with you next week? I guarantee you will not be disappointed. And we'll just believe that God is going to do with our friends, our family members, our neighbors. We're just going to believe that He does for them what He's already done for us. And that is He chose us, and then He's revealing to us who we are in the Father. So with that, I'm gonna release this to our life group hosts. Again, be willing to share and unpack everything that we talked about this Sunday in these groups right now. Thanks for joining. We'll see you next week.